Hey, Jules, where's my mouse? I took it off to give you the laptop. You're fine. Delicious, I'm sure. It'll be delicious, I'm sure. Okay, time to be quiet.
Hello, Kimberly.
Hey.
Hey.
Hold on. Gosh. Make you co-host. Okay, yes. Let in Joelle and let in Amy. Okay. You in your car?
I am. I'm driving back from camping.
Okay. Was it fun?
Yeah, it was a nice evening.
Good.
Yes, I enjoyed it very much. So I pulled over at Starbucks and we'll hang out here with everyone and then I'll finish my drive.
How far did you go?
It's about 3 hours-ish.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not bad. Just a little bit east of Springfield, which is right by Eugene.
Yeah, I used to live in Eugene.
I didn't know that.
Went to school there.
You went to University of Oregon?
Law school.
I did not know that. Learn something new every day. We have 2 questions for today, so that'll be nice. We'll give everyone a chance to see if anyone else was trying to get in. I think that the rest are going to be very quiet. I'm actually surprised we haven't had a ton of membership questions too.
Yeah, although it's pretty much the same as voting in the elections, right? So they might know most of it.
Yeah, since we had 2 elections last year, they may have already cleared up their email addresses and all of that good stuff. Joelle is joining on another device.
You never have too much, Joelle.
Never have too much, Joelle.
Whoa, she was here twice.
Yep.
Ooh. I don't know why she's doing that. Okay.
Oh, she dropped off one of them. Who knows? Well, I'm guessing that it's just us today.
Okay.
So the 2
Hi.
Hello. Here we go. So one of them you answered in email. And she said, where did we go here? Let me go to the beginning. There we go. The way the language is written for the ratification bonus, it would exclude 135 probationary members from receiving it since we would all still be on probation on May 1st. Yet most of us are dues paying and voting members. Is this correct? Please clarify and explain. Many of us are awaiting an answer. It was submitted for one of the Zoom presentations, but was not addressed. Well, I didn't get any previous question, just FYI, but.
No, I got that question, and I'm sorry, I thought you had it. But we actually answered this question yesterday anyway, through conversation. It may or may not have been on the recorded part because I turned the recording on halfway through.
Oh, that's right.
So is that right? Because I thought there was only one class that is paying dues. Like January and February classes are not.
Yeah, but that November class, the one that started in November, they won't be off of probation until May 4th.
No, I get that, but she said most of them are paying dues, and I don't think that part is correct. Okay. But it's not really a function of paying dues. It's a function of that, first of all, we've always done that. It's always said non-probationary flight attendants get the ratification bonus. The rationale is obviously to create more money for the bigger group. But secondly, because they have not gone through any lack of a raise, like because they've been here less than a year, all they've done is progress through the step chart. They would not have had a contract raise anyway, just our anniversary raise. So to the extent that that is to make up for that, that's why they don't receive that.
So you've been here as a flight attendant waiting through this process for a year plus, and is that how you look at it, Kimberly?
Well, I mean, I don't know that, yes, in part. I mean, it just has always been that way. There's not going to be an answer that is going to be satisfactory. It's
right.
And we can certainly look at that next time, but you know, we always have this issue every single time there's a class that would have made it if it had been a month later or a month or, you know, whatever. So.
All right. And I do remember it from the last contract as well.
Yeah.
And this contract. And I know I was here, I was in my first few months when a contract was voted in. So I know I was upset about that, but it was explained the same way. And I knew that I would be involved in the next one. So, Kirk or Joelle, do you have anything you want to say to that question?
No, not at this time.
What's that?
I just wondered if there was anything you wanted to say to, since we're recording these and putting them out there, if you had anything you wanted to address with that question.
Could you ask the question again? I'm sorry.
That's okay. So Kimberly answered it, and it's for the probationary members who aren't able to get the bonus because they will not be off probation on May 1st. And I think they've gone through the seniority list and figured out there were 135 probationary members that will not be able to get the bonus. And Kimberly was explaining the reasons behind it. I just wondered if you had anything you wanted to say about it.
Oh, yeah, I don't know any more information than what you would know, so sorry about that.
No, that's okay. We were talking about historically, we haven't been able to have probationary flight attendants be part of that ratification bonus. So.
Correct. Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Our next question, one second here, is by far the most important thing to me is being able to get enough sleep. And unfortunately, I need a lot of it. Was anything discussed with regards to the length of overnights?
We did open on a longer overnight, and that's one of those things we were not able to achieve.
We have been able in our pairing build to get our overnight to be equal or more than what our duty day was and is going to be the next day. So far, they have not argued those parameters in the pairing build. So if you look back on the scheduling notes that we publish, you will see that's been in there each time. So that's one way we've been able to do it outside of the contract. All right, Kirk, Joelle, Amy, have you guys seen anything on Facebook that we should address today?
I have not.
Okay, thanks, Kirk.
No, not for me. I wasn't on it yesterday or today.
Okay. Amy, have you seen anything that should be addressed in Facebook or from Facebook?
I deleted my Facebook, so I don't know.
Oh.
It's the same stuff as before. I mean, there's nothing. I looked at it quickly before this call, and there didn't seem to be anything. No new issues, just kind of people rehashing their same points.
Okay, let's go over the Josh question and answer, Kimberly.
Well, Josh had two questions.
Yep.
One, whether if you sat ER reserve for 24 hours and then your next duty period, your next wrap the next day was at AM reserve. And I said I thought there would be a rest period in between there. And he said that Alaska does not do a rest period. And I said I would follow up. And I did follow up, and they do not get a rest period. So they are actually can be on reserve for 38 hours, which is crazy. Don't get me wrong. But I think, Joanne, you probably remember being on reserve for 4 or 5 days at 24 hours straight, right? I mean, obviously we're trying to mitigate that. So the other part of his question was, he said that I had said that they always assign the ER reserves last, and he said that's not true. Well, I said that they usually assign them last. The actual answer to that is that we both are kind of right on that. They used to save them more than they do now. They will now put them out instead of a PM sometimes. But Jeff Peterson, who's the MEC president at Alaska, also said that that ER said a lot of airport reserve, which I thought was kind of interesting. Obviously, no one's picking those up. So.
And you can only pick up how many reserve periods at the airport? Airport reserves?
You can pick up as many as you want. I think you can only be assigned 4.
Okay. So you can pick up as many as you want, but they can only assign you to 4 of them. Okay.
But realistically, you're not going to be able to do that because the only people who can pick up at airport reserve day are people who are 5-day, 6-day, or 1-day reserves.
Okay.
So you're not going to be able to build yourself an airport line, really.
I think that one of the important things is we're starting some building blocks with pay for reserves, with higher credit for the bid, with an extra day off, and in lieu of, for getting those, there were some other pieces that we are adding in that Alaska has done that we hope will become more normal to people as they start to hire again. And we have new people coming on board that this is the only thing they know. But in the next contract, we'll be able to find out what was working and what wasn't and continue to build the blocks.
Yeah, and I mean, Alaska used to have 24-hour reserve for everybody. That's how they sat. And then they went to a contract with a 14-hour reserve period, but with some ER days. So to them, that looked like an improvement, right? To us, it's the opposite, but it is ultimately the same thing.
Yep. Kirk, Joelle, do you have anything you want to say to that? All right.
Can you repeat the question?
No, it's okay, Kirk. We were talking about the change to reserve. We were talking about how it's going to be a different philosophy for us. And there are some components that, those of us who've been here for a long time don't look at as improvements. And then there will be some things from pay perspective and time off perspective and credit perspective that are improvements. But that
the only part that I see that, I look through it ad nauseum, and it's the only part that they all seem to be improvements to me, in my perspective. This is a personal perspective, but except for you're on duty for 14 hours. You're not on duty, you're on call for an extended period of time, and then you could be used on duty after that.
Yep.
Your on-call time is not included in the duty time. So,
yeah.
But as long as you have your phone on, you can go about your day. It's just that when they do call you, you can get an assignment that's, what is it, up to 14 hours? Is that right?
Well, it's 14, but it's really 12 because it has to start within that 14 and there's a 2-hour call out.
Oh yeah, the 2-hour call out. Good point. Yeah. So if you started at reserve at 8 a.m. and then they called you at 10, you had a noon show, I guess you'd be valid till, you'd be legal till midnight that night.
Right.
Contractually. Yeah. So yeah. That's the only part. Otherwise, it all seems to be improvements. That's my perspective.
And there is still a limit of how many times they can do that to you in the bid as well.
Yeah, twice on. You can be on ER.
Right. So it isn't like that's going to happen to you every day that you're on reserve. So there is some protection there. Well, those were our questions. And if there's nothing else, Joelle, did you have anything you wanted to add into that?
No, I agree with Kirk. That would have been, that to me, that's the biggest change of not having the duty count. But other than that, I think the pay makes up for it with the $250 and the airport pay and yeah.
Right.
Oh.
All right. Anything that you guys have received in text messaging? Have any members come with questions in the last couple of days? I know you guys have been on the phone constantly.
No, nothing different.
No,
Okay.
not for me either. Not for me either. Sorry.
Okay.
Hey. Well, guys, short and sweet.
See you all. Oh, Joanne, did you have anything? Sorry.
No, I was going to say nothing new either. You know, for me, I've had questions, but not anything that we haven't covered.
Right. Yeah, I think we're getting to the point where we've pretty much covered most of the things. Whether or not people read it or watch it is another question, but. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 12:30.
Okay, drive safe, Lisa.
Thanks.
Drive safe.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.